Wow, that is incredible at sunset.
Hello, everyone. Think you've already seen enough of the world's strange and unbelievable sights? The next moments might make you think again. Let's explore a world where nature goes far beyond human imagination. Let's get started.
What's up? ADS.
Wow, that is
A total solar eclipse occurs when the moon moves directly between Earth and the sun, blocking nearly all of the sun's light.
Change the focus. Wow, look at that. Wow is right.
Wow, I really have to give credit to the skater and the photographers that day. The Eye of Fire in the Gulf of Mexico was not an underwater volcano. It formed when gas leaked from a pipeline, rose to the surface, and caught fire. You're witnessing an almost 1 in a billion view, a total solar eclipse seen from the cockpit of a jet. On August 12, 2026, in Launay, Switzerland, the eclipse reached its peak, turning an ordinary journey into an unforgettable memory. Orcas repeatedly struck the rudder of a boat off the coast of Portugal. Since the rudder controls the boat's direction, just a few strong impacts can leave a vessel unable to steer. Think the ground is always solid? Even the ground can seem to breathe. When the soil underneath becomes heavily saturated with water, the surface can rise and fall under pressure.
That's crazy. This is some goofy stuff. What is in there?
I'd really like to know where my viewers are watching from around the world. Share your location with me. In Uttarakhand, about 8,000 miles from the United States, rocks and soil suddenly came sliding down onto the highway. Landslides can accelerate extremely quickly, and no photo is worth risking your safety for. On August 10, 2026, a tornado suddenly formed in Taizhou, China, catching residents off guard. Oh my gosh! Trespassing and violence. What charges do you think he should face? The big question is, why didn't the electrical system automatically shut off after such a major incident? Did you know? When a vehicle comes into contact with high-voltage power lines, electricity can travel through the metal frame and discharge into the ground. Staying inside the vehicle and waiting for the power to be shut off is generally safer. Two suns suddenly appeared in the sky over Xinjiang, China. In reality, light was being bent through the atmosphere, creating a spectacular optical illusion. A superhero flying through a supermarket in Las Vegas, Nevada? Can the experts explain this strange phenomenon? When a Boeing 737 powers up, its jet blast can exceed 100 mph, strong enough to affect your balance and hearing. Make sure to experience it only from a safe distance. On August 12, 2026, in Gar-Wolin, Poland, the moon covered about 85% of the sun, and a plane happened to pass through the view during the eclipse. The building isn't actually shaking. It's an optical illusion created by repeating curved patterns and the synchronized movement of the crowd, tricking your eyes. Wow! Lightning can heat the water and sap inside a tree extremely quickly, creating high-pressure steam that can crack the bark and leave the wood inside glowing and burning. Absolutely spectacular. In the Arctic, a massive wall of ice collapses into the ocean as if an entire mountain were falling apart, sending waves across the water and causing nearby birds to take flight.
Oh my God! Look at this run! Oh! Oh my God! Holy!
When two wave systems meet, their energy can reinforce each other in certain areas, creating unstable water and unpredictable currents.
Idiots.
Reynisfjara in Iceland is famous for its beautiful black sand, but it's also a powerful reminder that the ocean can change in just a few seconds. On June 14, 2026, in Times Square, New York City, a bus was set on fire amid a crowd. Celebration should never turn into behavior that puts the public at risk. This moment proves one thing. Sometimes the best security guard at a zoo is a thick pane of glass. Their algae-covered shells make them look like moving rocks, a strange but highly effective form of natural camouflage. At first, it looks like the tree itself is spraying water, but the liquid was actually trapped inside the wood tissue and suddenly released when the trunk was disturbed.
That's crazy. Loco!
Don't forget to like and subscribe, because the next moment may surprise you even more. No stage needed. A single patch of blazing star flowers in Minnesota is enough to attract dozens of monarch butterflies looking for a place to rest. On August 11, 2026, Chicago was hit by severe thunderstorms, with wind gusts reaching 100 mph and multiple tornadoes, leaving large areas in the dark. In the middle of a Canadian winter, lights reflecting through the mist make Niagara Falls look like another world, freezing cold, yet completely mesmerizing. No VR headset needed. Visitors in China can experience a 360-degree motion illusion with their own eyes. How long do you think it takes the brain to realize it's only an illusion? In the Maldives, nurse sharks are commonly seen around coral reefs. They can grow up to 10 feet long, but their large size doesn't mean they are always aggressive. Wow, that's incredibly satisfying to watch. With just one circle and hundreds of small drawings, the artist turns simple motion into an amazingly lifelike optical illusion. In Kinaur, prolonged rain weakened the mountainside, causing a massive volume of rock and soil weighing millions of pounds to collapse within seconds. Oh my gosh! Lightning struck only about 3 steps away from them. Have you ever seen a lightning strike from this close? On March 24, 2026, at Crissy Field in San Francisco, an unexpected collision occurred between a windsurfer and a whale. Fortunately, both appeared to come through the encounter without injury.
Bro, what the f—
If this suddenly appeared inside your room,
this
what would be the
room?
first thing you'd do? From a distance, Japan's Eshima-Ohashi Bridge looks like a road climbing straight into the sky. Its steep appearance comes from the height needed to allow ships to pass underneath. At first glance,
Finally,
it
something
looks like a waterfall
happened.
pouring from the sky. But these are rain shafts beneath a
That's what I was telling you. What
thunderstorm. Light underneath makes them appear even more dramatic and surreal. Wow! In a double rainbow. The colors of the second rainbow appear in reverse order because the light reflects an additional time inside the raindrops. After seeing this moment, many people might wonder, did the ceiling collapse because the earthquake was extremely strong, or because the structure itself was too weak? It If you found this moment interesting, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Did you know? Earthquakes don't just shake buildings. They can also destabilize already weakened slopes, triggering large landslides. Beneath the road lies an entire network of pipes and underground drainage systems. When flammable gas becomes trapped and ignites, the pressure can cause a sudden explosion. Residents worked together to fill the hole with soil so the buffalo could climb out. A heartwarming act that deserves to be shared with someone you care about. Wow! Nature really knows how to make an impression. A rabbit kingdom with thousands of residents on Okunoshima Island, Japan, where people arrive only to be greeted by a crowd of adorable locals. One of the cutest moments I've ever seen. Did you know? Camels are known as the ships of the desert because of their remarkable ability to adapt and survive conditions that many other animals cannot. The skier thought he was the main character, until a rabbit crossed the slope and stole the entire show in just a few seconds. At the Lorance tidal power station in France, large whirlpools can form when tidal currents are forced through areas with different flow speeds, causing the water to rotate rapidly.
Wapendig.
Davy wordt in de zee. Is Davy?
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Wow! Every raindrop hitting the water is like flipping a tiny switch, stimulating bioluminescent plankton and creating what looks like an entire galaxy beneath your feet. The entire river suddenly turns into a living stage as hundreds of fish leap out of the water at nearly the same time. This moment genuinely moved me. Don't forget to share it and help spread the kindness shown by this man. That's unbelievable! On April 22, 2024, for Earth Day, the Sphere in Las Vegas transformed its massive exterior into a visual display of blooming flowers, growing mushrooms, and fluttering butterflies. The entire concept used visual art to celebrate nature, and the result was spectacular. A cliff that seemed completely motionless suddenly came alive as sections of rock repeatedly fell near a tourist area in Henan, China. Deep in the ocean, a mysterious creature seems to quietly watch every movement around it, showing the extraordinary camouflage that nature has developed over millions of years.
I just finished this carving in cherry driftwood.
Meltwater on a glacier can flow through cracks and plunge dozens of feet downward, creating powerful waterfalls inside the ice. For a few brief seconds, the meteor looks like a visitor from space stopping by Earth before disappearing before we even have time to say hello. From a distance, a glacier looks like a motionless wall, but inside it, gravity, temperature, and fractures are constantly reshaping it day by day. Oh my gosh, the door is only a few inches away, but with winds this strong, that tiny distance suddenly feels like an entire battle. At the Davanagere toll plaza, a container truck lost control and collided with a car stopped ahead. Fortunately, the outcome was not worse. What makes polar bears remarkable isn't just their strength, but their ability to turn the freezing ocean into part of their survival territory. On April 14, 2026, in New South Wales, Australia, a humpback whale nearly 30 feet long was rescued from a sandbar and guided back into deeper water. A beautiful act worth sharing. In the Oklahoma night sky, an unusually bright green star made the entire scene look like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Yes!
In England, heavy snow turned a school campus into a playground as students worked together to roll a gigantic snowball, a rare moment of fun during harsh winter weather.
Wow, you can see the upper part?
The Grand Canyon is famous for its dry cliffs, but just one period of heavy rain can temporarily transform the landscape into a series of powerful waterfalls.
Wow.
Thousands of years of erosion shaped the riverbanks along the Kettle River in Washington, but just a few seconds of collapse can completely change their appearance. Just because a bridge is still standing doesn't mean it's still safe. Fast-moving water can erode the soil around its supports and weaken the structure in a surprisingly short time. In Santa Catarina, Mexico. Heavy rain from tropical storm. Alberto turned the river into a powerful torrent capable of washing away an entire section of road. That's hard to believe. It looks like he wanted to find out which one was tougher, the front of the vehicle or the metal shell. A frozen river can remain completely still for months, but when spring arrives, just a few days of thawing can transform it into a moving channel filled with enormous chunks of ice. Gardening is great for your health, but this moment reminds us that sometimes the trash can become the most unpredictable opponent in the backyard.
Okay, 5, 4.
Whether it's wildebeest, polar bears, humpback whales, or young seabirds, migration is an important survival strategy that helps animals find food, reproduce, and reach suitable habitats.
Crazy, eh? Okay, double champagne for me at the breakfast, eh? Okay.
Thank you. That was really
Was great, eh? Was great.
What a spectacular sight. SOHA wishes all of our viewers good health and good luck. Wow! Florida has delivered another unexpected sight. This time it's not a supercar, but a pair on wheels attracting everyone's attention. In North Carolina, Hurricane Helene brought more than just heavy rain. It also triggered landslides on steep mountain slopes. Definitely not something any driver wants to encounter.
Holy shit!
Hi, Dax. Anong gusto mong sabihin sa new vlog ko?
Oh my God!
Dax, anong gusto mong sabihin sa new vlog ko? Yan.
A calm swimming pool can turn into an earthquake detector within seconds. In the Philippines, a magnitude 6.3 earthquake sent the water surging and prompted swimmers to quickly move to safety. In Italy, a large wave crashed directly into a seaside restaurant, reminding us that the force of moving water is not something anyone can stop with their hands.
Seriously?
In Pacifica, California, the tsunami generated by Tonga showed that even familiar coastlines can become unpredictable when energy travels across the ocean from far away. In the United States, what seems like a minor driving violation can sometimes come with a fine of around $1,000 and other consequences. This may be the moment you realize how something as simple as packaging can make a surprisingly big difference when the unexpected happens.
Yeah, crash received earlier update, please. Crash, crash, crash.
Looking at these vehicles, comprehensive insurance starts to feel less like an expense and more like valuable financial protection. This boat looks so unbelievable that it is easy to assume it was made with AI. But sometimes real engineering and design can be even more surprising than computer-generated images. Curiosity helps us discover new things, but in unpredictable situations, knowing when to keep your distance can be just as important. The elephant stands perfectly still as if it is trying to become invisible. A funny moment that shows animals can behave in ways that make us smile. When a boat is overloaded, its stability can decrease significantly. Meaning even a small change in the balance may be enough to cause a loss of control.
Nhưng mà bên bạn gửi cho tôi là bát này mà. Bảo nó tháo ra cái nào chứ làm gì mà nó.
Snow sliding off a roof may look entertaining, but heavy accumulation is also a good reason to inspect roofs after major snowfalls. A barrier is not simply an obstacle, it is a safety measure placed there to keep people away from areas where the risk is high. In chaotic moments, one person stepping in to help at the right time can make a much bigger difference than we often realize. On April 19th in Los Angeles, a small aircraft collided with power lines, but the pilot quickly received medical assistance, showing how fast emergency response can make a major difference.
Daniel on a donkey. Oh, run, bro, run!
This fisherman may have just discovered that what takes the bait beneath the surface is not always what you expect to catch.
Oh, the whole thing! Oh, the whole thing's gone down his gob!
Landslides do more than reshape hillsides. the soil and debris they carry can muddy waterways and directly affect communities downstream.
Jalan lintas nasional Pamengempang.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, strong winds tore the roof off a restaurant, showing how lightweight outdoor materials can become serious hazards when the weather turns severe.
Like a normal one?
In the Swiss Alps, an avalanche suddenly covered a moving train, reminding us that conditions in high mountain areas can change within seconds. Moments like this at a construction site show how one mistake in procedure can affect many people nearby. Some visitors that appear near your home quickly remind you why keeping a safe distance from wildlife is usually the smartest choice. One careless action can put everyone nearby in an unpredictable situation, especially in crowded places. In California, heavy rain weakened a retaining wall and triggered a collapse, showing how water can gradually undermine soil and structures over time. Barriers are not there to make life difficult. They are often placed exactly where one wrong decision could have serious consequences. In Canada, the sudden appearance of this aircraft probably taught nearby drivers that sometimes the most unexpected danger can come from above.
They just reopened LA County. Oh, plane crashed!
In traffic situations like this, responsibility often depends on right-of-way, speed, and how each driver reacted before the collision. At Currumbin Beach in Australia, tropical cyclone. Seth produced waves and strong winds powerful enough to sweep away large objects near the shore. In Hawaii, a large wave suddenly surged into the spectator area, showing why people near the shoreline should always watch for waves that rise far above normal levels.
Hijos. Va un cabrón ahí. Ya lo aterran.
On April 19th in Baramatsa, an incident caused traffic to back up for about 15 miles, showing how one disruption can affect an entire route. After this moment, these two men may never look at their familiar front porch quite the same way again, because even places that feel safe can hold surprises. In Vanuatu, an earthquake measuring about magnitude 7.3 caused strong shaking, showing why island nations in active seismic zones must always be prepared for sudden changes. During this landslide, quick reflexes help the man get out of the area just in time, proving that a few seconds can sometimes decide the outcome.
Someone ran a red light.
This tent roof may have finally reached its limit, and the wind simply delivered the final resignation letter it had been waiting for. In Chattanooga, Tennessee, a FedEx aircraft slid off the runway after an emergency landing, but most importantly, everyone on board was safe. This moment is a reminder that rushing reduces the time available to observe and react, while slowing down for just a few seconds can change the outcome.
Oh! Hey, she trying to take out. She finna take out shit. Oh, damn! Oh! Oh, damn!
Some moments are so lucky that all you can do is look back and wonder how everything managed to end safely. In Florida, a small aircraft made a landing without its landing gear and caught fire on the runway, but both pilots were able to get out safely.
You see, look.
In Thailand, a pickup truck became stuck on railroad tracks and several people tried to help. Even though the outcome was not what they hoped for, the willingness to help was still admirable. In Ireland, Storm Atia produced powerful waves capable of sweeping vehicles into the sea, showing how quickly coastal areas can become hazardous during a storm. Instead of guessing who the driver is, perhaps the more important question is what decision led to the difficult situation unfolding in front of us. In Magnitogorsk, Russia, a car lost control while taking a curve, struck a barrier, and caught fire, but the driver was able to get out safely. In Missouri, flash flooding damaged a school, but the timely evacuation of students showed just how valuable emergency preparation can be.
Oh, he's right behind him. Look at the shark. Look at the shark. There's two big sharks.
Parking against the direction of traffic can reduce visibility and make a situation harder to predict. But responsibility still depends on the full sequence of events. At Ocean City Beach in the United States, a light aircraft had to make an emergency landing in the water, and the pilot was able to swim safely to shore. Some moments are so unexpected that for the first few seconds, all you can think is, what just happened? After this trip, the driver will probably have a story that still feels unbelievable every time it is told. In China, a sudden rock slide occurred, and a concrete protective canopy became an important shield when the driver managed to stop beneath it in time.
What? Oh, 差点 GG！ 啊！哎，不是吧？
When the sea is rough, the safest choice is usually not to prove how far a boat can go, but to know when it is time to turn back.
It's stuck in your wall. We can start getting this figured out and make sure to get the...
In Brazil, a burst water pipe sent a huge spray across an entire street corner, showing how underground infrastructure failures can also cause major disruption. In Nepal, an earthquake of about magnitude 7.3 triggered major rock falls, showing how strong shaking can create additional hazards in mountainous areas. In Sydney, Australia, sea foam spread across the shoreline and covered the area in white, creating a snow-like scene formed by waves, wind, and organic material in the water. While everyone is watching the cars, the pedestrians on the right show why a traffic incident can affect people far beyond the immediate point of impact. Long-tailed macaques are intelligent and quick, but their curiosity is also a good reason to keep your distance and secure your belongings.
O balão que ficou gravado. Roubou-lhe a saca.
In Mexico, a building collapsed onto an avenue after a landslide, but an earlier evacuation helped residents avoid a much more serious outcome.
Oh my God.
Against a powerful flood, even structures that seem solid can be moved or destroyed, showing that the force of water is often much greater than it appears. From a distance, this object looks exactly like a person floating in the sky. But distance and the lack of reference points can cause our brains to misjudge its true size. Although blue soldier crabs are only about 25 millimeters long, they gain an advantage through numbers. Entire groups can quickly bury themselves in the sand to avoid danger and retain moisture. Mars has a thin atmosphere, yet it can still generate enormous walls of dust, showing that wind can reshape landscapes even on a distant planet. No special effects are needed. Charged particles from the sun can turn Norway's night sky into a natural light show that technology would struggle to recreate. On the morning of May 28th in Maine, sunlight traveled through more of the atmosphere, allowing red wavelengths to dominate and turning the horizon into a fiery painting. Massive bat colonies in Queensland, Australia, can create what looks like an incredible highway in the sky. Who would you want beside you to witness this?
Đủ 5 dàn đèn gắn lên chắc đủ nó phái chí nhìn hoài luôn. Đúng rồi. Đó, ra kìa rủa nó trời.
In this situation, the most valuable decision is not saving the vehicle, but recognizing the right moment to leave it behind and protect yourself. Winds near 110 mm can turn ordinary objects into hazards within seconds. The real danger of a tornado often comes from the debris it carries. It's amazing how one video can connect people who are thousands of miles apart. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. On July 11, 2026, in Hasenu, Taiwan, an entire mountainside became unstable almost at once, reminding us that steep terrain can change in just seconds.
Wicked!
Along a highway in northwestern Ontario, Canada, wildfire smoke filtered out more blue light, turning the sky an eerie shade of red and orange. On March 16th in Indonesia, a massive wall collapsed within seconds. Incidents like this show that regular structural inspections are just as important as proper construction. A cutting machine leaves very little room for mistakes. Proper eye protection, suitable gloves, and a stable working position can greatly reduce the risk from flying debris. In May 2026 in China, a cement tank released pressure almost instantly, reminding us that equipment that appears completely still can still be storing a tremendous amount of energy. Water is a perfect example of the power of persistence. Each drop is tiny, but given enough time, it can carve through rock and reshape entire landscapes. What device are you watching on? Millions of pounds of rock and soil fell onto the vehicle, making survival inside seem almost impossible. The most remarkable part is that the cabin still preserved enough space for the occupants. The smoke ring over Disneyland looked mysterious, but its circular shape is actually how a rotating vortex of air can hold itself together while moving through the atmosphere. The elephants in Sri Lanka's annual procession create a colorful spectacle, but their size and strength are also why spectators should always keep a safe distance. Sometimes, a car in front of it is not as solid an obstacle as we might think. Pressure cookers store energy in hot steam, so they should only be opened after all pressure has been safely released and the appliance is completely secure. Lithium batteries are small but hold a high amount of energy. Puncturing or short-circuiting one can generate heat very quickly, which is why repairs require the right tools and procedures. We've only made it through part of the journey. If you're enjoying these new perspectives, a like and subscription can help support the channel. This camera angle in China makes the woman appear to be walking through mid-air. A fascinating example of how perspective can turn an ordinary scene into an optical illusion. In May 2026 in China, strong winds lifted dry soil into the air, turning the ground itself into something that blocked the sky and rapidly reduced visibility. What makes moments of anticipation so interesting is how an entire crowd focuses on one point, and then one unexpected event can completely change everyone's emotions. On June 8, 2026, in General Santos, falling sections of walls showed that during an earthquake, choosing the right shelter can sometimes matter more than trying to run outside. Whether you are watching from Texas, Florida, California, or anywhere else, even a small message of support can help affected families feel that they are not alone. At nearly 5,000 feet, every movement depends on training, equipment, and precise calculations. The most impressive part of this scene may actually be the preparation behind it. Dry straw contains many small air spaces filled with oxygen, allowing flames to spread quickly once it catches fire. That is why storage areas must be kept well away from sparks and heat sources. Cutting down a tree involves more than predicting which way the trunk will fall. The weight of branches, the tree's lean, and internal tension in the wood can all change the result.
Manual daw nabiyaray. Kipaya bagay. Daka manual.
With an elephant weighing around 3,000 pounds, trying to prove you can run faster is usually not the best strategy. Understanding its behavior is the real advantage.
Sheesh!
Oh my goodness.
When water levels change by more than 50 feet, the danger does not stop where the ice or rock falls. That energy can keep traveling outward in the form of powerful waves.
Okay, okay.
The keratin scales on a snake act like countless tiny reflective surfaces. As its body moves, the angle of light changes, making the patterns appear to shift. In March 2026, over Pennsylvania, USA, scud clouds descended so low that they could easily be mistaken for a tornado. The ISS completes one orbit around Earth in about 90 minutes, meaning astronauts aboard can witness multiple sunrises and sunsets in a single day.
What the heck?
Seeing two moons at once is a great test of perception. A simple reflection in glass or a camera lens can create what looks like an entirely real celestial object. Thousands of bright streaks falling at once can make the sky look overwhelming. But unusual scenes like this should always be identified carefully before conclusions are made. Over Lake Michigan, differences in temperature between layers of air can create atmospheric waves, causing water vapor to roll into a long, tube-shaped cloud. The collision in Maryland shows how one moment on the road can lead to major damage. Keeping a safe following distance always gives drivers more time to react. Male birds of paradise in New Guinea do more than display bright colors. They can transform nearly their entire body shape to impress females during courtship. For many people, fishing is not just about catching fish, but also about spending a few peaceful hours away from a busy routine.
Ôi giời, cá này, ôi giời, ôi giời. Ôi giời, đàn cá. Đàn cá ra bạn. Kia ơi, có con xúc một lồi à.
In July 2019 in Appleton, Wisconsin, thunderstorm winds gusted up to 67 miles per hour, strong enough to blow away tents and knock down trees. When strong winds arrive, age or physical strength is not everything. Recognizing danger early and moving into a sturdy shelter gives you the greatest advantage. When small creatures move in circles, The behavior may involve chemical signals or group coordination. What do you think is guiding them?
Small egger.
Small egger caterpillars build a shared silk tent that helps maintain a stable microclimate while also improving protection. A remarkable example of cooperation in nature.
That all. We'll have a look at the fourth.
On the evening of July 7, 2026, in Jabalpur, heavy rain combined with an aging structure led to a collapse, showing why older buildings require careful monitoring. The ice pushing onto the shore of Lake Winnebago, Wisconsin, is not a frozen river. Wind and pressure across the lake are slowly forcing large sheets of ice toward land. In Rudraprayag, the crowd standing close to falling earth and rocks shows that early warnings only work when people also maintain safe distances and leave hazardous areas. Some traffic lessons do not need a textbook. A few seconds like these are enough to show why speed must always come with distance and control. The old tree fell only about 1 foot from the man and his dog. An incredibly small distance that shows how the outcome of an entire event can depend on where you happen to be standing. A moving mountainside does not care how powerful your vehicle is. When the terrain begins to shift, turning around early is always better than trying to beat it. Feels exciting because everything happens faster than the brain normally processes it. That is exactly why this kind of performance belongs in a professional environment. At Letchworth State Park in New York, layer after layer of frozen water builds up over many days, creating a giant mountain shaped entirely by winter. In Istanbul, the space between a pedestrian and large vehicles disappeared quickly. Standing even a few steps farther from the edge of the road can create a much safer buffer. In Brazil, a truck overturned while taking a curve and affected nearby lanes, reminding us that the enormous mass of a truck gives every sudden change in direction tremendous force. What stands out here is not just the speed, but the coordination. When several people move together precisely, even a fraction of a second can make a difference. Some moments make us react before we even understand what is happening. If you were there in person, what do you think your first reaction would be? Coming across a tree with such an unusual shape would probably make anyone slow down. In Indianapolis, a garbage truck struck an overpass, showing how just a few inches of clearance can determine an entire trip. Bridge height information is something large vehicle drivers cannot ignore. At Fort Campbell in the United States, the bright streaks from the CRAM system reveal how quickly air defense technology operates. When an aircraft creates a strong enough drop in pressure, water vapor can condense in an instant, making normally invisible airflow appear as a visible cloud around the plane. A winged stick insect spends much of its time looking like a branch, but its colorful wings provide a backup defense by startling predators when camouflage fails. On August 15th at Long Pond in New York, a small rotating column appeared very quickly, showing how rapidly air movement near the ground can change. On the road, saving a few seconds is rarely worth losing the space needed to react. Reasonable speed and good visibility always give a driver more options. Rare moments may last only a few seconds, but a camera can preserve them forever. If you're enjoying this journey, consider leaving the video a like. Some situations look simple from the outside, but are much harder when you are actually facing them. If the decision were yours, where would you begin? Bioluminescent plankton convert chemical energy into blue light when the water is disturbed, making every small wave act like a natural light switch. After so many unexpected moments, a peaceful scene can sometimes feel like the best gift of all. And this is what we wanted to share with you today. The aurora appears when particles from space cause gases in Earth's atmosphere to glow. A beautiful reminder that our planet is constantly interacting with the sun. Sometimes just watching a scene can make the brain trigger a physical reaction.
30 kilometers before Caitman's Whip, on the B1 road, there was a
The mysterious lights over Houston, Texas, are a perfect example of why an unidentified phenomenon does not automatically require an extraordinary explanation. Argentina's Perito Moreno Glacier has existed for thousands of years, yet its surface is never truly still. The ice is constantly flowing, cracking, and reshaping itself. Art can mean something different to everyone. If you had to judge this work only by your first impression, what score would you give her? In Bagnoli, Naples, strong winds brought down an outdoor concert stage, showing that temporary structures also need careful engineering for unusual wind loads. Weather can be completely different in places only a few hundred miles apart. Is the sky calm where you live today, or is something unusual happening? On a highway in Jakarta, a truck lost stability and rolled onto its side. On long trips, getting enough rest is just as important for safety as driving skill. In May 2026 in China, a cement tank released pressure almost instantly, reminding us that equipment that appears completely still can still be storing a tremendous amount of energy. Water is a perfect example of the power of persistence. Each drop is tiny, but given enough time, it can carve through rock and reshape entire landscapes. What device are you watching on? Millions of pounds of rock and soil fell onto the vehicle, making survival inside seem almost impossible. The most remarkable part is that the cabin still preserved enough space for the occupants. The smoke ring over Disneyland looked mysterious, but its circular shape is actually how a rotating vortex of air can hold itself together while moving through the atmosphere. Some traffic lessons do not need a textbook. A few seconds like these are enough to show why speed must always come with distance and control. The old tree fell only about 1 foot from the man and his dog. An incredibly small distance that shows how the outcome of an entire event can depend on where you happen to be standing. A moving mountainside does not care how powerful your vehicle is. When the terrain begins to shift, turning around early is always better than trying to beat it. Speed feels exciting because everything happens faster than the brain normally processes it. That is exactly why this kind of performance belongs in a professional environment. The two white trails behind the aircraft are actually short-lived man-made clouds, forming when water vapor meets extremely cold air at high altitude.
I don't know.
On May 28th in Florida, an explosion during testing showed how rocket development often involves extreme testing designed to uncover weaknesses before an actual mission.
There's the shockwave.
Are you videoing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is insane.
Oh shit. Sab?
From above, the network of cracks looks like enormous tree roots, showing how the same landscape can appear completely different when viewed from another angle. Ice crystals do not just look beautiful, they also make a distinctive sound when they collide. Listen closely and experience the scene in another way. Flash floods can move at nearly 30 medepa while carrying mud, rocks, and debris. The danger comes not only from water depth but also from the force of the current. Only a very small margin kept this situation from becoming worse. Moments like this often teach drivers lessons they remember longer than anything learned from a manual. In seahorses, reproduction works very differently from what we usually expect. The male carries developing young inside a specialized pouch before giving birth. Butterflies crowding the liatris flowers in Minnesota create a beautiful scene while also showing how one rich nectar source can attract an entire miniature ecosystem. Fireworks are best enjoyed from the proper distance. A safe buffer helps keep sparks, falling debris, and sudden explosions from turning curiosity into unnecessary risk. Poplar fluff is extremely light and can allow flames to race across the surface within seconds, proving that something soft and harmless looking can still become dangerous near heat. A hailstone can travel up and down inside a thunderstorm several times, adding new layers of ice until the updraft is no longer strong enough to keep it suspended.
Well, I figured it would.
Tá bom, mãe, tá bom. Eu de lindo, 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 que não tem maravilha.
Cada pedaço. E tá lá com
The Japanese spider crab does not have an unusually massive shell. Instead, its legs can span nearly 12 feet, giving it the largest leg span among crabs. A safe parking area needs more than just spaces for vehicles. Emergency exits, early detection systems, and measures to limit fire spread are also important. In Louisiana, a vehicle fire quickly affected nearby cars and businesses, showing how one incident in a crowded parking area can easily spread beyond a single vehicle.
I got it.
The Bay Bridge between San Francisco and Oakland is already impressive. But the pink moon rising behind it turned a familiar landmark into a scene that only appears at just the right moment. Every September 11th, two beams of light rise above New York City, turning the empty space where the Twin Towers once stood into a memorial visible from far away. One frightening thing about strong wind is that you cannot see the wind itself, only its power through the objects it moves. How fast do you think it was blowing here? Some moments do not need a long explanation. Just a few seconds are enough to show how spectacular a natural display can be. Jellyfish have extremely simple bodies, yet have survived for hundreds of millions of years, showing that life does not have to be complex to adapt successfully. In May 2026, a construction site in Moscow caught fire fiercely. The official cause is still under investigation. The burst of flame lasts only a few seconds, but controlling it safely depends on extensive training of specialized equipment and strict safety procedures behind the scenes.
Our poor town.
In July 2025, Ruidoso, New Mexico, experienced its third flash flood in less than a month, showing how recovery becomes even harder when disasters return before people have time to rebuild.
Camp, and I have no idea how I'm going to get her because I'm stuck. I can't.
Maybe what makes this scene so powerful is not its size, but the way it makes people suddenly feel very small in such a vast landscape. After the storm in North Carolina, more than 18,000 households lost power, showing that the danger does not end when the wind stops. Leaning trees and downed power lines can remain hazardous for hours. In December 2025 in Nevada, the vehicle rolled multiple times, showing that energy at high speed does not disappear when control is lost. It is transferred into repeated impacts. For some people, relaxing means sitting quietly. For others, it means spending a few hours at sea with a fishing rod. If you're in the second group, leave a 9. Sunrise is more than the return of daylight. It is also when temperature, wind, and the activity of many species begin shifting into a completely new daily cycle. After standing for more than 30 years in central Cuba, the bridge disappeared in about 5 seconds, showing that floodwater does not need to destroy a structure little by little once its foundation becomes unstable.
Richard, mira, deberían de prohibir el paso. Porque mira... ¡Wow! ¡Por favor! ¡Prohibí el paso por la avenida España!
Dozens of vehicles pass by, but only one person needs help. If you were there, what would make you decide to stop? Areas near runways contain powerful air currents and movements that may be difficult for bystanders to recognize. Safety boundaries exist to protect people from those invisible risks. Pamplona may be famous for running with bulls, but New Zealand proves that even a flock of sheep can turn an ordinary street into an unforgettable parade. Lightning naturally follows the easiest electrical path toward the ground, so a few inches in the video may not show the full danger zone around the strike. The road can sometimes have completely unexpected travelers. Fortunately, this little visitor found a way out just in time. When the tractor began rolling backward downhill, gravity quickly overwhelmed control. That is why brakes and load weight should be checked before climbing steep slopes. In Chicago, a burning vehicle can create additional hazards from fuel, tires, and heated components. Staying well away is usually safer than approaching for a closer look. On May 12th in Michigan, red and orange light dominated as the sun sat low on the horizon, turning a familiar scattering effect into a sky that looked almost on fire. This long cloud band lets us see the shape of a wave moving through the atmosphere, something that would normally remain invisible without water vapor tracing its form. On June 20th in Wyoming, rotating air was stretched vertically upward, turning normally invisible wind movement into a clearly visible structure. Fireworks are designed to explode high in the sky, not in the middle of a crowd. Even a small change in direction can turn a celebration into a dangerous situation. The American paddlefish belongs to an ancient lineage that dates back hundreds of millions of years, showing how an effective body design can survive enormous changes on Earth. In situations lasting only a few seconds, reflexes developed through experience can sometimes be more valuable than trying to think through every detail in the moment. Watching the entire group react at once shows how quickly emotions can spread. It only takes one person to start, and within seconds, everyone can be caught up in the same mood. Landslides do more than reshape hillsides. The soil and debris they carry can muddy waterways and directly affect communities downstream.
Jalan Lintas Nasional, Pamengempang.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, Strong winds tore the roof off a restaurant, showing how lightweight outdoor materials can become serious hazards when the weather turns severe.
Like a normal one?
In the Swiss Alps, an avalanche suddenly covered a moving train, reminding us that conditions in high mountain areas can change within seconds. The collision looks serious, but the most important detail may be the remaining space between the vehicles. Sometimes just a few feet can completely change the outcome. Going from 0 to more than 250 mph in 3 seconds means the body has to handle extreme acceleration. 10,000 horsepower is only impressive when matched with professional skill and safety systems. Areas near runways contain powerful air currents and movements that may be difficult for bystanders to recognize. Safety boundaries exist to protect people from those invisible risks. Before starting a risky job, spending a few minutes checking the equipment, surroundings, and escape routes can reveal problems that may be much harder to fix once the work has already begun. A single video can connect people who are thousands of miles apart. Who are you watching with, and what does the sky look like where you live today? On February 4th, 2026, in Tegel, hundreds of vehicles became floating objects within minutes, showing that the best time to escape a flood is often before the water reaches the tires. After floodwater recedes, repairs may begin immediately, but the feeling of safety can take much longer to return, especially for older residents who have lived there for many years.
Oh my God.
A frozen river can remain completely still for months, but when spring arrives, just a few days of thawing can transform it into a moving channel filled with enormous chunks of ice. Gardening is great for your health, but this moment reminds us that sometimes the trash can become the most unpredictable opponent in the backyard.
Okay, 5, 4.
Whether it's wildebeest, polar bears, humpback whales, or young seabirds. Migration is an important survival strategy that helps animals find food, reproduce, and reach suitable habitats.
Crazy, eh? Okay, double champagne for me at the breakfast, eh? Okay.
Thank you. That was really.
That's great, eh? Was great.
Unusual coincidences naturally make our brains search for hidden connections, even when the simplest explanation may simply be being in the right place at the right time. The right camera angle, lighting, and timing can make a real scene look like movie special effects. That is also why cameras can sometimes give us a completely new way of seeing reality. In January 2026 in China, the 5.5 magnitude earthquake showed that in the middle of chaos, one calm person reaching out at the right moment can be more valuable than any words. A section of an overpass in Seoul collapsed, raising questions not only about concrete and steel, but also about how we identify aging structures before they fail. The muddy red floodwater in Brazil shows how much soil can be carried by a flood, making the water heavier and far more dangerous than the depth alone might suggest. A match contains very little energy, but when it meets the right material, it can start a chain reaction much larger than itself. Fortunately, all three dogs remain safe. If you could choose only one topic for the next video, would you rather explore the power of nature, animal behavior, or situations that teach us how to stay safer?
What do I do now? I've never encountered something so crazy. What do I do? You're gonna have to go around me, sheep.
A fallen tree during the storm caused a power line to arc, turning a Pittsburgh neighborhood into a highly dangerous light show. In your opinion, who actually made the wrong decision? In this moment, the buffalo seemed even calmer and more alert than the person leading it. A few seconds that leave viewers in awe can be the result of thousands of hours of repetition, failure, and perfecting every single movement. Not an ordinary storm, but an entire dense swarm of insects unexpectedly covering the house. A reminder that weather shifts can cause them to appear in massive numbers. As ash, steam, and clouds blend together over the volcano's peak, the scene unfolds like a giant painting, breathtakingly beautiful, yet harboring unpredictable power. Millions of red crabs move together in a near-perfect rhythm, showing that survival instinct is sometimes more precise than any plan prepared by humans. A moment that seemed entirely predictable ended in a way no one expected. On the road, saving a few seconds is rarely worth losing the space needed to react. Reasonable speed and good visibility always give a driver more options. Rare moments may last only a few seconds, but a camera can preserve them forever. If you're enjoying this journey, consider leaving the video a like. Some situations look simple from the outside, but are much harder when you are actually facing them. If the decision were yours, where would you begin? Bioluminescent plankton convert chemical energy into blue light when the water is disturbed, making every small wave act like a natural light switch. After so many unexpected moments, a peaceful scene can sometimes feel like the best gift of all. And this is what we wanted to share with you today. The aurora appears when particles from space cause gases in Earth's atmosphere to glow. A beautiful reminder that our planet is constantly interacting with the sun. Sometimes just watching a scene can make the brain trigger a physical reaction.
30 kilometers before Kidman's Whip, on the B1 road, there was a...
The mysterious lights over Houston, Texas, are a perfect example of why an unidentified phenomenon does not automatically require an extraordinary explanation. Argentina's Perito Moreno Glacier has existed for thousands of years, yet its surface is never truly still. The ice is constantly flowing, cracking and reshaping itself. Art can mean something different to everyone. If you had to judge this work only by your first impression, what score would you give her? In Bagnoli, Naples, strong winds brought down an outdoor concert stage, showing that temporary structures also need careful engineering for unusual wind loads. Which moment amazed you the most? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you can catch tomorrow's episode. Goodbye, and see you next time.